and connected to their land. While we cannot undo what has been done, it is the goal of the Salamanca City Central School District to recognize the history and make improvements that will benefit the next 7 generations of Indigenous students. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Here John, Vice President of the School Board, sitting in for Teresa Wade, President. We'll be unavailable tonight. So we'll be rolling here. Are we chief of the school then?
There are.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Motion. Okay. Moved by Tad, second by Christian. Any questions? Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, got Dale down there. Hey, Dale. Motion carried.
I'm on here.
Got Dale here. Sorry. All right, well, we're ready for the recognition presentation from the student activist club regarding Black History Month and Women's History Month. Robert, so we're going to start with Steve.
We're gonna stand here, stand.
Okay, do we have the presentation?
There it is. Mark is doing.
Got
Too
it.
late.
Struck
No,
me
no.
out this morning.
Okay. So the students from SSA are here today to talk about their proposal to add some flags to the student flagpole. You want to jump to the first slide for me? So, I believe was everybody on the board here during 2021 when the original flagpole, you weren't on the board? I think a lot of people were. So I just want to do a reminder, 2021, after the SSA started, the club came here and worked really all year with school leaders, administrators, teachers, and the rest of the student body to get a student flagpole raised. And the first flag they wanted to raise that they were really passionate about was the progressive pride flag. Since then, that has been a student-controlled flagpole where the pride flag has been flown every day of school. So from that proposal, there was an idea to not only have the progressive pride flag up there to represent our LGBTQ students and community, but also expand that to other groups in the school. And what this group wanted to do was to get that process started, and kind of reinvigorate that idea. So by diversifying flags, they think that it'll bring attention to different communities and also really elevate that student voice, to not only represent the 2 communities that we're going to talk about today, but possibly encourage other groups to, you know, put up their own flags and take part in that process. So that's what they'll be talking about today. Go ahead.
So one of the flags we're suggesting to put up is the Pan-African flag. It is a symbol of pride, unification, and liberation for those in the Black community. It was originally created in the 1920s as a response to a racist song that was going around at the time. It was created by UNIA. So from the UNIA website, I put a quote up talking about what the different colors mean in the flag: the red, the black, and the green. And then the flag, originally created in the 1920s, became popularized again in the 1960s as like a symbol for the civil rights movement. And then once again, more recently, it became popular in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter. And today it is still a powerful symbol of change for students in the Black community. It represents change and inclusion for students in our school. And I think if we put this up, it would make Black students feel a lot more included in all of the stuff that we have.
Another flag proposing is the suffragette flag. The suffragette flag was an icon and representative of the early 20th century suffragette movement that advocated for women's rights and education. The flag consists of purple, white, and gold with shoulder and translations as substitute yellow for green. The purple represents dignity and reality with the co-founder of the Boston newspaper, and the suffragette icon Emily Pettit Florence commenting on the iconography. It stands for the royal blood that flows in the veins of every suffragette. White represents purity, and gold is representative of the 1867 Kansas state suffrage referendum, which marks its place in U.S. history as the first ever referendum on women's voting. The suffragette movement began in the early 20th century in Britain, while women under British Parliament were still restricted in nearly all political liberties and could employ. The suffragette movement constructed an alternative political culture of resistance and led to women's rights developed in both America and 1920 and Britain in 1918. This was also spurred on, the suffragette movement spurred on by New Zealand and granted women's rights developed in 1893, nearly 24 years earlier. The suffragette movement also was a very big for Women's History Month, which began in San Jose, California in 1973, and was initially Women's History Week. The movement began to spread across the country as communities started their own Women's History Week celebrations. In February 1980, Jimmy Carter declared the week of March 8th to be Women's History Week, later becoming Women's History Month in 1987, when Congress passed Law 100-9 and is presently a national recognition of women and their impact on society, government, and culture. And it's been circulating more often due to recent political events like the overturning of the Roe v. Wade and more feminist values.
And this group is also looking at specific week in high school. What is that gonna be? There you go.
Our rationale for the flag, the educational value of the flag is educates both students and staff on meanings and reasons for the movement and celebration. Without acknowledgement, many of these movements and the aspects of them would be forgotten or not learned. For example, many people don't know what the suffragette flag is or the Pan-African flag, let alone what they mean and what they stand for. And these flags also stand with our gender.
The positive impact of painting these flags will be major. Positive outcomes include education on Pan-African women's rights and creating a safe space for the people of this group. These flags will show Talaga High School as compassionate and understanding to the groups affected. The flags will foster a sense of community and pride and open discussions on the rights of these groups. These impacts align with academic agenda for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
It's okay, I can just do it.
That's the last one I got.
Oh, I think maybe we had that. Okay, so in conclusion, these flags are just gonna be very good for students to make them feel like they belong, create a very safe space for women and like Black students. And just gonna create a very welcoming environment that will show the warrior spirit that everyone is welcome. This can be whatever you want to be. So, yeah. Yes.
Well, first, one thing we didn't get was the student names. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Brony Brown.
Name's Emily Benjamin.
I'm texting her as well.
I'm Wilma Sedgwick.
Just another question for clarification. You're asking about lining these during certain months. Is that replacing the LGBT flag or in addition?
As of right now, it would have to be replacing because we do only have those two hooks, I guess you would call them. So that would be the idea there. If it would need to be, you know, at the same time, we could definitely do that. But the idea is that it would be more of a, you know, rotation, but that is an idea that we could definitely look at. I think then you have to think about what order are they going to be flown in, if that makes sense, but yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
No, that was a great question and that as well, is that. Wonder if our facilities department, then, like. Great.
We could get another quote.
So is this a ask for action or is this still more of a presentation?
Well, that,
Sure, so. When this originated in 2021, we really sort of dedicated that flagpole as a student's flagpole. They maintain it, so education around that. As we sort of went through the growing process of understanding flag etiquette and whatnot. And at that point in time, it was really sort of turned over to the student body to determine what flags. But what we've decided here is, it's a good opportunity for our students to come and present to us the different flags that they're building by, because it further promotes the education. So having them come to us, formally present this, and say, this is what we would like to do. Not only, goes through the process, but at the same time, most of our needs considerations. So, they are more than welcome to fly by the principle of the flag will be there, but, having the process. Good way to get there.
And just as a refresher, for some of us who've been on the board and some who are new, that wasn't an issue several years ago. So as Mark said, it's already been designated as a student-run flagpole. Thank you for the information. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, very well done.
All right, thank you.
Do you mind if I ask them?
Yeah, please.
I got Roman Brown and Emily Benjamin, but as I was writing, I missed the other two.
Was it Rowan?
Yeah, it's Rowan, ROWAN. Sorry.
Thank you.
Hello,
Paloma.
Yeah.
I'll write the spelling last name.
SSKOVAN.
Thank you, ladies.
So, we're on item number 4, communications, any public communications or just?
Took my sign sheet.
It's up here. You guys got the sheet up there.
You guys got the sign sheet?
I know Mr. Miller, is tied up this evening, so, Title VI will not be. I think he's on every other meeting. He did pretend.
That's the speak. Okay. All right, we'll move on to, we have some office here.
No, and I do want to make a note, this week we have folks all over, western New York and the country for that matter, so. I know Karen McGarrett, our business official, is currently attending a graduation ceremony for our director of food service, John Haley. Nathan Beaver, and many of our building principals are, currently en route to a conference on high reliability schools, which is a school improvement initiative that we're in our second year of, so those guys are tied up, so as far as central office goes, no.
We got a light crowd and we're short agenda, and we're just gonna keep rolling, I guess. We'll just jump into the Board of Education message, and we're going to start with Mr. Dale Colton tonight. You got a.
To start with me, huh?
Yeah.
Gee,
See who's sitting
I
next
don't
to
have
me?
much to. Not much for me today, except for please stay warm and please stay safe. I know the roads get slick, even with a couple inches of snow on them. And just think spring. That I know Carrie doesn't want to hear that, but getting a taste of this southern weather for the last week, kind of whet your appetite for some warm weather, coming north. That's all I have. Thanks.
Tracy.
Well, the second marketing period is just coming to a close. So we're about halfway through the school year. I hope everybody is doing well and staying warm and traveling safe. And then good.
Thank you. Ted?
Yeah, Ron, I think that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, no, it's the days are getting longer, the first half of the year definitely flew by. That's what I'm gonna say, the same thing, we're pretty much more than halfway through now. And in the meantime, just stay safe and warm and big spring, warm temperatures.
Somebody mute tag too. Right? Right. There you go. Very good. Christian, maybe you got a list here.
No, yeah. Well, first and foremost, on the topic of weather, I just want to say that this weather's been very, although it's cold and snowy, I get that, but it's been, very good for our community in a number of ways. I'm sure Carrie and many others can, attest to this as far as the ski slopes and our kids. I'm sure our, ski club is getting a lot of, action. I know, as far as even the local community goes here in Salamanca, the ice rink, ice pond over there, been seeing a lot of action these last couple of weeks, and even this past Sunday, prior to those games, there was probably a 5-on-5 or 6-on-6 game going on between a bunch of 7, 8-year-olds all the way up to 12, 13, and they all played together great and got along. It was a great time. The parents put hot dogs and fed all the kids and brought drinks and snacks. It was just a really good time. So although the weather, we got the last few years have been kind of wonky for that winter, it's good to see an actual winter here again. But yeah, no, just a shout out to our activist club, and their presentation tonight. It was a great presentation, and all the girls in this government all spoke very well. It's important to, highlight the diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they mentioned creating a safe and welcoming environment for our students and our staff. Yeah, that's it. Go Warriors, got that b-ball game tonight. Excited to go to that. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, as always, I want to thank all of our staff for everything you guys are doing, every day in and day out, regardless what the weather is. You're here, you're making it happen, and you're helping our kids in this community, and it's appreciated. So thank you. We talk about the weather a lot and we joke about it a lot, but I just wanted to say that it's a mindset. And one of the things we think about here is changing minds, thinking about what we can do to improve learning, making our kids smarter. I hear all the negativity towards winter, how dark it is, how cold it is, how horrible the roads are. But like Christian was just talking about, our ice pond is open for the first time in a couple of years in town. That's positive. That's something for the kids to do. That's exciting. It's that mindset. So us as adults, we think about this. What are we doing in these walls every day? We're trying to be positive for the kids. We're trying to promote positive outlets for our kids. That goes along with winter. I'm a skier. I've been an avid skier for 40 years. I love it. I ski 40, 50 times a year. I try to talk anybody and everybody into becoming a skier. Christian's over there in the ice pond. Winter isn't the winter blues. It isn't a dark time in our seasons. It's an exciting time. For me, it's my favorite season of the year. And that's what we have to relate to these kids. If we're in that mindset of seasonal depression, flip the script. Let's encourage these kids to do something positive. And with that, I do give a shout out to our ski clubs. We had, I believe, over 70 kids this year signed up for ski clubs in the different schools. That's awesome. And we're so fortunate to be able to provide that program for these kids, to give them a positive outlet, something to do on these cold and dreary nights where the roads are horrible and oh my God, I just want to stay in the house. No, these kids are out there having a blast, loving every minute of it on the slopes, learning how to ski and snowboard. That's awesome. That's why I said we're so fortunate. But us as adults, it's our responsibility to make a positive environment for these kids. And part of that is flipping the script. If you don't like winter, that's fine. But what do we tell our kids every day in these walls? If you don't like English, what do we do? Positive reinforcement. If you don't like winter, what are we gonna do? Positive reinforcement. So I just wanted to mention that, because this is one of the things that's passionate to me. I was one of the first advocates to bring back this ski club program and fund it, so our kids didn't have to worry about that. So it's just one of those things I just wanted to mention. We have everything else going on here. We have great sports programs. We have great academics. We do all of these things. We have advanced classes to get college credits before you graduate. All of these other things, but everything plays a part into making our kids better here, making them smarter, making them more successful. And healthy lifestyle is part of it. So I just wanted to mention that. Go Warriors. Very good.
Just a couple thank yous. Last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we did have to close school because of weather circumstances. It was our Regents Week. On both those days, we had administrators and teachers who voluntarily came in to basically redo the schedule for, the administration of the assessments as well as the testing application. So all the work that they did on Tuesday, well, that went wayside when we closed on Wednesday, so they got to do it again on Wednesday. But the exams went off, and I just wanted to express my gratitude to those individuals. We know that that can be challenging. We didn't close on Wednesday until the morning of, simply because we wanted to ensure that the weather forecast was in fact going to be a reality, and it was this time, with some very cold temperatures. So, there's a tremendous amount of work when something like that happens, and another just shout out to our police and grounds crew. I know on these snowy days, Roger Ball from Transportation and I are talking by 4:30 in the morning. He's already on the road on his way here to check out the conditions and see how things are going. The buildings and grounds crew is out plowing and salting so that everything is ready for our students and staff when they get here. So a lot of those things that happen behind the scenes, people don't necessarily recognize. I wanted to express our gratitude for those folks that keep everything moving in the morning, and sometimes overnight. Thank you guys very much.
We're gonna move along to item number 5, the consent agenda. We have meeting minutes from January 14th meeting. We have our travel conference and overnight trips. The JCC partnership, CPSE recommendations. And I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Brad. Yeah. Tad. Second by Tad. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed, abstaining? All right, motion carried. Dale's gonna thumbs up, right? Oh, sorry, forgot about Dale again. Dale, thumbs up. All right. All right, so we got number 6, old business. We have policy. So be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, following a second reading, the following policies be approved. Policy 7110, comprehensive student attendance policy. Can I get a motion? Motion by Christian. Second by Brad. Are there any questions?
Sure. So, the last time we were together, we had a full presentation. These recommendations came about from working with our school administrators, as well as a variety of input from other stakeholders. And some of the highlighted changes include a change in what we're accepting for excused absences. So at one point, we were only accepting doctor notes. And our diligent parents were driving the doctor locally nuts every time a student was absent, trying to get a note. And we actually had calls from them saying, hey, give us a break. And looking back at that, we are now going to be accepting parent notes that will allow that to be an excused absence. Additionally, while we continue to provide a tremendous amount of support and plans for students who are excessively absent, we wanted to ensure that there was clear in our policy that when a student reaches a threshold of 15 for a half-year course or 30 absences, which is well beyond the chronic absenteeism rate, that course credit may be in jeopardy, and that will be a discussion, as well as sort of automatic class progression. So what this does is it recognizes that attendance, as we know, one of our 4 core goals, is very important. And being present in school and learning while in school is critical to be successful, not only that year, but subsequent. So those are the 2 big changes that we saw.
Any other questions? All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? All right. Any opposed, abstained? The motion carries. All right, moving on, item number 7, new business. We have change orders. So be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent and the Board of Education hereby approves the following change orders. Change order for phase 4 for Dave Clayton. It's actually a credit, $3,200. Can I get a motion? Motion by Christian. Second. Who's that? Second by Tracy. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Motion carries.
Yeah, right.
Alright. Item B, standard workday reporting receipt. Be it resolved that Salamanca City Central School District, location code 70048, hereby establish the following as standard work days for its employees and will report days work to the New York State and local employees retirement system based on the timekeeping system or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the coordinating body as per attached listed in section 7B public content. And get a motion.
Motion.
Is that Tracy? A motion by Tracy. Second by Brad. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carries. Item C is create positions. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent and as a result of changes within the district, the following positions be created effective January 29th, 2025. 4 shuttle bus drivers and 1 substitute keyboard specialist. And get a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Tracy,
Second.
second by Tad. Any questions?
The shuttle bus drivers, they have to have a CDL with that for those, and
They do, so they will not have the same type of endorsement that a, traditional bus driver will have. But what this does is it allows us to diversify our transportation department a little bit more. And will not require those full endorsements for individuals who are driving, for example, our minivans, which we transport a small number of students. So that will actually free up our bus drivers to drive the standard, what we consider to be a standard bus, and allow other individuals who may want to be part of our transportation department, but may not be comfortable driving a large bus to be able to bring.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, abstained? Motion carries. Item D, SSSO memorandum of agreements. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Salamanca Service Staff Organization, MOA number. Is that SSSO 2024-2027-04, regarding the position of shuttle bus driver to be appropriately placed in the association, be approved and be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Salamanca Service Staff Organization, MOA SSSO 2024-27-05, regarding when an employee is called back to work or called in on a non-work day and the district requires an employee to make a building check, be approved and be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Salamanca Service Staff Organization, MOA SSSO 2024-2027-06, regarding members be given shirts or aprons to be worn when on duty and an allowance for work-related apparel be approved. And be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Salamanca Service Staff Organization, MOA SSSO 2024-2027-07, regarding bereavement days be approved. Motion. Motion by Christian. Second by Brad. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, abstained? Okay, motion carried. All right, we are on to item 8, the personnel consent agenda. We have personnel action, resignations, FMLAs, leaves, classified appointments, substitutes, volunteers, employments for coaching, athletics, team leaders, co-curriculums, mentors. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the personnel action item? Motion by Christian, second by Tad. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstained? All right, motion carries. And we have introduction of newly appointed staff. Is anybody here?
Yes. Barney is here, and I don't know, Kristen, are you and I gonna argue over who gets to say good things about her?
no, I think you should.
All right. So Kristen will chime in a moment here with probably a lot more details, but, Kim has been a tremendous asset and she's taking on the role of nurse manager. And really for the past several months, she's been doing this. One of the things that comes to mind immediately is we had a pretty significant audit of our immunizations. And those are very detailed and there's quite a bit of work that goes behind the scenes. The Department of Health came in, they gave us about 2 days' notice before they wanted to look at pretty much every single one of our students at Seneca and all of their immunizations. And she stepped up, went through the entire process. We learned a lot. We learned we were doing a very, very good job. And there's an awful lot that happens behind the scenes with our nursing staff and the medical requirements that, you know, we talked about, or I did, transportation and buildings and grounds, but another department that really doesn't get the credit that they deserve is our nursing staff. I'm happy that, very happy actually, that Kim has taken on the nurse manager role. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Kristen because Kristen oversees our nursing staff.
You took away all my thunder. You said everything that you needed to say. Kim has done an amazing job, and Lori and Bree have also stepped up within their buildings to ensure that Kim is able to do what she needs to do. We're excited to have Kim want to move forward with this role and want to look at process and procedures moving forward to help the district, help our athletics, help our transportation department, and overall just ensure ways to get our kids in the building as much as possible. So Kim, thank you for taking on this role, and I look forward to working with you.
Sorry, Kristen.
No, believe that we will welcome them when we see them.
You got speed?
Not really, just kind of, you know, I'm looking forward to doing, you know, being heard and making sure everything goes in the direction it's supposed to, overseeing the kids, taking the best care I can. And, you know, just putting it in a whole different direction. So,
You want to put a plug in for the upcoming dental clinic?
yeah, actually, we have, UB Dental along with Sanitation Health Department coming in. They'll be coming in next week that's when we start those. They'll be coming in for 2 days a week for the next few weeks. We'll get the kids in, with parental consent, obviously. Once they come in, we'll, you know, they can do sealants on their teeth, they can do temporary fillings if the kids, you know, if they find something that needs to be taken care of right away. Once those are done, if it's a Native American student, they can send them to the Nation Clinic, all the information will be input through their system that way. And then they can get taken care of down there. If it's a student who doesn't have insurance, we are gonna be working with, UB, and they have like their Smile Day at Highmark Stadium, which Dr. Baylor, where that we will try and get up to 25 students who don't have insurance up there on April 4th to get the rest of their dental work taken care of that necessarily wouldn't be. So,
Right, so these are programs that in mind and being able to do those really set aside the quality of care that we have for our students. Dental hygiene and dental care is something that's pretty significant, and a lot of times it's something that isn't addressed as appropriately or as quickly as it should be. And being able to house something like that here will really be a true benefit for us. Thank you for that.
Congratulations. So that was item number 8. So item number 9, board information reports and discussion. We have second reading policy. We have our CA Bolton's call for recommendations, and we have upcoming events. So just to know, our next board meeting is on February 11th, right here. We then have another one on February 25th. And Indigenous Education Committee meeting is February 12th, 4 o'clock right here. So I think with that, we'll motion toward adjourn. By Christian, second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, any abstained? We are adjourned. Thanks everyone for coming on out.
Thank you all.
Back to this.